Hello anime, how are you? How are you indeed? So Dolby Max speaker. Oh, speaker like that. We meant like speakers in boom boom boom. I was like, they're creating a speaker now. Well, they have sound and video production software, but like what? Never know. Okay, so part 123 of the game engine code in Livestream, part 54 of the menu system and button group. Okay, so we had done the width stuff. We're gonna look on positioning. At the moment, all the position is done manually, and I want to be at a position. Okay, so I'm getting a few ideas in my head of how to do this. First of all, let's create a enum for orientation. So enum orient, or do we really do these like enums in uppercase or lowercase? No, uppercase. Orientation. Vertical by default. We'll do vertical by default. Horizontal. The orientation of the buttons in the button group. Okay, so let's just do a default one as well. Hash define default underscore button underscore group underscore orientation, which is button group. Okay, so in the button group, first of all, we need to actually create a variable to hold this. So we're gonna say we need get and settle the knife that's there. So getters and setters for the gap and for the orientation. By the end of the week, we're definitely gonna have button group done. It's going well. Okay, so what are we doing? Okay, so in button group, He's gonna create a orientation parameter variable. Orientation of the button inside the button group. Orientation underscore orientation. Pretty simple. Underscore orientation equals default underscore button underscore group orientation. So we got the default orientation done now, and now we need some sort of gap as well. So we'll say float underscore gap between the buttons when using the auto position. By default we'll have a gap. Default underscore button underscore group underscore gap. We'll set it to, I don't know, 16 multiple of 2. That's, I guess that's fine, doesn't really matter. I'll just copy and paste it from here. Should be quick enough. Boom, done. Hello, NKJ Nick. Okay, so got the button gap. Now we actually need to position this. So when we add a button, we'll choose whether or not to position it here. So we'll have something that can override it. Reset with forward. Constable orient with auto orient equals true. So we'll literally just say if auto orient, then I guess we're just going to say, and assuming that this is not the first button, if underscore buttons dot get size dot size, as long as it's greater than 0, then we're all good to go. Then what we'll do is say button dot x is same, it's going to be y that's different, dot set position. So x is the same, x is going to be underscore buttons dot at -1 dot get position x. Similar thing for y, the only difference being we have to add on the last button. Instead of doing constant function call, we just do this. Get height plus underscore gap. I guess that would work. And obviously by default the position should be in the top anyway. So let's see how well this works. This might actually work. If it doesn't, then obviously we're not factoring in orientation here. We'll factor in the orientation momentarily if this works. Boom, that seems to have worked. It's got a gap of, which I'm assuming is 16. Boom, 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 boom. So if I was to increase the gap, like 64. I just got C# to work in Linux. It was so painful to set up compared to C++. I can imagine C# is obviously a Microsoft product. C++ is not, so I doubt Microsoft's gonna make things easy to run it on a non-Microsoft OS, but with all that push with Bash and Linux stuff in Windows, I feel like that might change in the future. Yep, there we go. Okay, so now let's do it so we can set the orientation to horizontal. Horizontal. Okay, so to do that, that shouldn't be that difficult. What we'll do instead is when we add a button in the setting the position, we need to say, so if underscore orientation, if that equals orientation vertical, this is fine. I can either encapsulate all of this, or I could just do a local variable for the position. I'll just do one for the position. So I'll say glm vec2 position. position dot x equals this. Let's do y. Else, just in case there's some other position orientation, horizontal equals underscore orientation, and basically a reverse of this. So this will just be get width. And we can get rid of all this now. And here we can just simply put position. Give that a run. What's your keyboard? It is the Cooler Master. Just let this run and I'll link it to you. I think it's the MX, I think it's the Master Keys Pro. Pretty sure that's what the one. 1 second, I'll Google it and I'll get the exact one. It's RGB, MX Brown, and it's a detachable USB keyboard. That was the big thing that I wanted. At the time there wasn't really any decent wireless ones. There's a good wireless one that I want now, but yeah. So once this has finished running, I will show you the one I've got. I'll show you the one that I want. I've had this for 3 years. I checked, somebody else asked about the keyboard a few days ago, and after what I had in 2019, I had it in 2018. The one before that I had in 2011. That was 7 years. This has been going for 3 years. I mean, the pretty much, I can't see any marks on this at all. It's still like brand new condition. I would like a new one, but it's like hard to warrant spending an extra couple £100. Something don't absolutely need yet. Boom, done. Ooh. Ah. We'll do that in a second. Okay, so hello Ariane Rahman. Okay, so I was gonna show you the keyboard. Is a Cooler Master Keys Pro RGB, something along those lines. Pretty sure this is the one. That's the one, that's the one. See me, that's got the no, because that, no, yeah, it's the one, that's the one. It's the one with the number pad. The one that has a detachable key, a cable, that is the one. It's not this one, it's the one with the number pad. Yep, that's the one. And it's MX Brown. So the one I want to get, Corsair mechanical wireless. Might not have been Corsair, to be fair. I know it's usually they don't sell it that often anymore, the one that I want. Logitech, I think that's the one. Yep, that's the one. That is the one. Got tactile and clicky switches. So yeah, that's the next one that I want to get, or whatever else is out at the time that piques my fancy. But that's the current one that I've got in my mind. I love that sort of scrollable wheel. My old one had a scroll wheel. Love that thing, because this doesn't have jack or media keys. Got no media keys, got no nothing. It's literally boxed down to the one I've got. Not a big fan of that aspect of it. Okay, so let's do the getters and the setters. So we need getters and setters for the orientation and the gap. Okay, so should be pretty simple. Void set const orientation const orientation get orientation Okay, got a comment. Have you ever worked with SFML networking before? I've done some before. It's on the list to whack this into. I'm pretty sure it is networking. So I'll look into SFML and I'll look into other libraries as well to whack in some sort of networking in the engine as well. Okay, so button group. What was we doing? Hello Netku, how are you? Return type no parameter. Get the orientation of the buttons. Returns the orientation. Set the gap between the buttons in the button group. Gap between the buttons. Set gap get the gap between the buttons. Output returns the How is everyone today? Hope you are doing well. I'm having a good day. Hope everyone else is as well. Okay, time to actually implement them. There's meant to be a return underscore gap. Underscore gap equals gap. Return underscore orientation and underscore orientation equals orientation. Okay, so now that we've done that, what did you use to write the graphics engine for project XYZ? So we do need another name for it, so if anyone can has any ideas, then let me know. But it's using SFML underneath and then we're writing the engine on top of it. I will be back more. So I was talking, but it was muted. Okay, yes. So I want to launch up Steam now. So what I was saying was, yes, you said the name is pretty good. It's just a project name, but might change, might not change it. Project XYZ engine could be Project A to Z engine. I like the fact they use SML. So yeah, there's projects. I mean, there's live streams out there like Handmade Hero, which pretty much does it as bare bones as you can get, short of coding your own OS, coding your own IDE and language. Bar that, it's pretty much all full low level. But that's not what I was looking for. I just wanted to be able to create games, but I just found like the engines out there either were too advanced, and they added a lot of bloat like Unreal and Unity. They just weren't suitable for one person, I found, or most single developers, or they were just too basic like SML, SDL. They're not engines, they're frameworks. But that's what they were. Or there was like code cost, so always bugs, and I just felt like things could be done better. So this is like almost like a better version of code cost in my eyes, but built on top of SFML. And the underlying code could always be replaced. So at the moment, a lot of the stuff that we've been doing for quite a bit of time, we very rarely had to interact with SFML. We're just interacting with the engine stuff. Okay, so we're gonna look at positioning now. Okay, at the moment it's all in the top left, but we want to be able to just not position a button. We can override that if we want to position the button group, and that itself would be the so we position button group, and then all the others would adjust accordingly. So if so we want set position, and we want a move position as well. The move one should be pretty simple. The set position one, because that's based off like previous buttons, for example, bar the first one. That's the one that's a bit more complex, but I can see it in my head of what to do, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So let's say void. I mean, there's no point me doing that. I might just rip the methods from here. This overall stuff that needs to go into the header. Set position. Get position. Time to implement. Any Flutter dev? I created a tutorial series on Flutter. I don't know if you've seen it. Flutter, Sonar Systems, YouTube playlist. One of these will be it. And I want to feel like this one. There it is. So, got a playlist if you're interested just in learning. Over 100 videos, to be fair. Where was I looking? There we go. But if you're asking, am I doing any Flutter dev on live streams? No, I got no plans of that. So many other stuff I'd rather do live streams of. return underscore button dot at 0. That's it's assuming there's actually even one in the first place. If there isn't, if underscore buttons dot size greater than 0, then we'll return. So then we'll say return underscore buttons dot at 0 dot get position. So this is going to be pretty similar, but we're just going to do dot x, not dot x, just x. This should be y actually. Well, let's copy and paste this, then change it after. Instead of doing 2 changes, just do the 1. Set position. So all these, I'll just call this one, and from there we'll do what needs to be done. So set position glm colon vec2 so I'm gonna say get position x comma y. Nah, so this is where the meat of it is. So where it gets a bit more complex. Or I'll say, first of all, I'll do this. It's greater than 0. Then we'll say underscore buttons. I'll just loop, I'll loop over here. I'll do for int I equals 0. I less than underscore buttons dot size. So doing multiple function calls, I'll just do this. What does that return? I'll just match it to that. No, it's just int. Well, let's do auto to actually no, I just do int. You are great, thank you for streaming. You are welcome, Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee. Is that your real name? It is pretty cool. And do you just watch the stream, or do you watch have you watched some of the other videos as well? I've got a bunch of other videos to upload. I've got a list of stuff that I made yesterday and today. Side quest, I had set it up on Android, just came out a day ago. Side quest wireless on PC, the WebGL video, there's had to uninstall PS3 custom firmware. I need to schedule a podcast as well for this Saturday. The finance video on the difference between mortgage principal and mortgage interest as well. Okay, so number of buttons equals so what we'll say is I plus plus. We'll literally just say if it's the first one, then we're gonna do something else, because we don't need to position it based on this previous position. We literally just position it. We just literally say underscore buttons dot at I dot now there's a little bug here, no flaw. Do we need to make sure we track the position? Do a default hash define default underscore button underscore group underscore position glm comma comma vec2 0 comma 0 underscore position equals this. So that's the position. Okay, so what we're going to say is set position is going to be position, plain and simple. Then we'll say, because this is based on the fact that there's, the else will only get triggered if there's more than one button. So that's going to say underscore buttons dot at I dot set position. I feel like it's probably best if I do on separate lines, and it's going to be the previous button dot get position x. So now we got to do the orientation as well, haven't we, for this? Where we did in the add component. Copy that, scroll down all the way to here. So we'll say, so position is gonna be, so this is the last button, so it's best if I just say equals okay, so this vertical is getting the horizontal, yeah, so we should be all good to go now. I mean, I feel like that's it. Let's give it a little test. So if I do it after we've added all the buttons, and I'll do it on scroll, so we'll say button group dot set position to 200 by 40. So on scroll, you should move by 200 across, 40 down. So not that much down. It's only a fifth of the way down compared to the amount that we're doing, you know, across. Okay, so probably wrap up after. Actually, I probably could implement the move one as well, to be fair, pretty quickly, because that's just, that one's an easy one. Might end up just doing that tomorrow if this once it's done. What we got? So move tomorrow. This I've got to get enter key. Yep, that worked. And if I do default as vertical, got a good feeling about this. Let's open up GitHub as well. This will be button group orientation and button positioning using position methods. Boom, done. Okay, so it's looking good. Let's just, I'll do that after commit, and I'll push origin in a second, because committing it usually doesn't take long. Push origin will be around about here. The button will be, well, a fair bit off, to be fair. Okay, so tomorrow will be part 124, 55. Gonna be about a 2-month journey on the GUI system. Jesus Christ. That means we would have been doing it since February. Like I got married in December, so it's been just over 4 months. 4 months and a week today. I thought that was 26. 4 months and 9 days, and half of that time just be spent on GUI. At least it's good getting there. Okay, so that's it. I want to thank everyone for watching. I'm gonna wrap up now. Gonna have some food with the wife. Go and watch Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. She has seen them before, but she never really watched them properly. I've watched them loads of times. It's the extended edition, so it's so long. Finished Fellowship of the Ring yesterday. Almost 4 hours. Two Towers is almost 4 hours as well with the extended edition. We'll finish that off today. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all